Hi, my name is Oisin Logan, and my health behaviour change was to increase my sleep from 6 to 8 hours a night. As a part of this SMART goal setting process, I chose list making as a plan of action for achieving my goal. This was done before I went to bed every night, so I had a detailed breakdown of what I needed to get done the next day. I also kept a sleep diary to monitor nightly progress. I chose this behaviour change because as a student athlete, I realised how key sleep is to maximise my functionality both on the court and in the classroom. I was hoping this change would make me more organised. Overall, I noticed through my list making strategy I got more sleep at night, just not quite the 8 hours. Before this assignment, I was a pre-contemplation believer. I knew I was not getting enough sleep to be optimally productive, but I didn't think I had the tools necessary to make the change. Once the assignment was given, I was in the contemplation stage. I began to weigh the pros and cons. In the preparation stage, I printed out several copies of a template for a sleep diary. I also bought a small journal for my lists. From this stage on, the pros significantly outweighed the cons. This was opposite to when the cons outweighed the pros in the first stage. In my current action stage, every night I do a to-do list I need to complete the next day, and every morning I log how many hours I slept. I can relate how many hours of sleep I get to how many tasks I finish. In this stage I was tempted to drop out because of the time-consuming nature of list making and sleep logging. I'm not yet in the maintenance stage, but if I keep up my behaviour change for the rest of the 6 months, then I will be. As seen in the diagram, my self-efficacy increased over the implementation of my behaviour goal. One of my sources for self-efficacy was past performance. Seeing myself become more productive increased my confidence. Another source of self-efficacy was my psychological state. My attitude became more positive towards behaviour change. Initially I was amotivated. I was aware a change in my sleep needed to happen, but I felt like due to my lack of tools I couldn't do anything about it. My motivation evolved from amotivation to extrinsic motivation, specifically integrated regulation. Being productive and getting more sleep satisfied my need for confidence. It also aligned with other behaviours such as punctuality and responsibility, both of which satisfied my basic need of mine. I feel most confident when I'm productive and in control. My system of thinking along my behaviour change was mainly System 2. My change required a lot of mental effort and demanded continuous attention to track progress. However, System 1 thinking was also a component of my behaviour change, as throughout my day I had to deal with spontaneous issues I didn't plan for the night ahead. I used this System 1 thinking to make sure I was behaving in line with my goals. For example, saying no to a friend who wanted to get dinner in Georgetown, since that would take up too much time. I don't believe there is any evidence of false hope. This is because I got very close to my goal. I think that I will reach it by the 6-month mark when I enter the maintenance stage. If I had noticed any cognitive illusions or errors in my System 1 or 2 thinking, then I believe there would have been false hope. A barrier I encountered during this was my very busy lifestyle, having too much schoolwork and practice too often. Some nights I had to study past my intended bedtime to study for an exam because most days was taken up by the 4-hour practice. In cases like this, I would fall into dichotomous thinking and the all or nothing trap, where if I missed out on even 6 hours sleep, I would write off the week and tell myself I will start again on Monday. I had no social influence, but I did have a social support group of 3 seniors on the squash team. These teammates agreed to do this behaviour change with me. Having their support created a sense of cohesion, and we held each other accountable throughout. I used 2 devices to self-monitor, as mentioned, list making and a sleep diary. As I related the number of hours I slept to my completed tasks, I was able to monitor progress. For the future, I plan to reach my goal of getting 8 hours of sleep at night. This is especially important this summer for my full-time job. The hours are 9 to 5:30 and I'll need to commute 40 minutes both ways. To remain fully focused and energetic throughout the workday and to include squash training, I'll need to complete 8 hours of sleep. Therefore, list making and tracking my sleep must be continued in order to fix any problems with my schedule. Firstly, I learned stages can't be skipped in the trans-theoretical model. Initially I thought it could go from the pre-contemplation straight to the action phase. However, I learned that each stage takes time and reflection. Secondly, I learned that tools like list making and logging really set my plan to achieve the goal into motion. Lastly, I learned the importance of social support. If my teammates had not done this change with me, I don't believe my adherence to self-monitor would have been as strong, since I found it tedious. With all these lessons learned, I'll be able to set higher goals in the future.
Created using Powtoon.